Do you ever feel like research paradigms are just this big secret that no one's ever explained to you? Like everybody's been sat down and told, look, here's how paradigms work, but don't tell Elizabeth. You hear words like positivism, interpretivism, critical realism, and it's like somebody just handed you a recipe card in a different language. Well, don't worry, because today I'm breaking it all down. If we've not met before, hi, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Yardley, and I help PhD students get out of their own way and finish their doctorates. Paradigms are one of the things I get asked about the most. What are they? Why do they matter? Which one should I pick for my research? Well, we're going to get into all of that today. Before we do, if you're interested in all things paradigm, you might want to grab a copy of this. It's my free quick start guide to paradigms. It covers a lot of the stuff we're going to go through in this video, plus a bit more. So go get it. I will link to it on the screen right now, and I'll also pop the link in the description for later. So first up, what is a paradigm? A paradigm is basically your worldview as a researcher. It's a set of beliefs and assumptions that shape the way you look at research, the way you think that research should be done, and what counts as truth for you. So it's the foundation upon which your research is built. That probably does still sound a bit abstract, so let's put it another way. Imagine that you and your friend are going to go get dinner, and you're trying to decide what restaurant to go to. And you found one that you're both kind of interested in, but you need a little bit more info before you go and book a table. You might say, let's jump online and check out the restaurant's hygiene ratings, the chef's credentials, and the quality of the ingredients. That is going to give us an objective sense of how good it is. And then your friend might say, let's not bother going online. Let's just get into the WhatsApp group. We'll ask around. We'll see if anyone else has been and what they thought of it. So you've got the same question, the same problem there, but there are two very different ways of approaching it. That's what paradigms do in research. They shape what we think is important, how we gather data, and how we make sense of the data we get. And to make all of this a little easier to digest, pun totally intended, I'm going to continue to draw on this theme of food to explain some of the key paradigms in social sciences. So let's meet the paradigms. First up, we've got positivism. Imagine you are following a recipe to the letter. You're measuring every ingredient on the scale, you're setting timers for each stage of the process, and your goal is to create something that is 100% replicable. So if anybody came along and they followed the steps that you followed in this recipe, they would end up with exactly the same dish, exactly the same results. Positivism is like that. It's all about objectivity and measurable facts. In research, this might mean tracking the number of hours somebody's worked or their scores on a particular test to measure their productivity. It's methodical, it's systematic, it's process-driven, and it's all very much just the facts, please. Now, let's tweak that recipe a little bit because here comes post-positivism. With post-positivism, you're still measuring your ingredients and timing everything carefully, but you've realised that hey, ovens can vary. Or maybe the flour that you're using is slightly different from the flour that the original creator used. Post-positivists are all striving for objectivity. They're striving to replicate things and make things systematic and methodical, but they realise that no process is perfect. So they're going in with the best of intentions, wanting to collect data, wanting to measure things. But they're being real about the fact that personal bias and slight differences and other factors can creep in. Next up is interpretivism, and here's where it gets a little bit fun. Imagine you're cooking without a recipe, which is something that I love doing. You're tasting as you go, you're adding a pinch of this, a dash of that, you're working with whatever you've got in the fridge, and you're relying on your own intuition and creativity. Maybe you're even asking other people in the kitchen, hey, what do you think? Does it need more garlic? It always needs more garlic. Interpretivism is about understanding personal experiences and subjective meanings. In research, it's like conducting interviews or focus groups to see how people feel about something. And everyone's dish, everyone's social reality is unique. Now, get into the comments on this. Out of the three paradigms I've talked about so far, positivism, post-positivism, interpretivism, are any of them resonating with you? Are you like, yeah, I could get on board with interpretivism? Or, no, I'm digging the whole post-positivist thing actually. Let me know, get typing, and also pop any questions that you've got about paradigms in there too. Now let's get a little bit deeper with critical realism. This is where you're not just cooking the dish, but you're thinking about where the ingredients came from. You're also thinking about how they're used. So why is it that certain communities use spices in this particular way? How do societal factors or cultural factors shape how this dish is prepared? Critical realism acknowledges that reality exists. Reality is a thing. But it's influenced by underlying social structures, things that are below the surface, things we can't see. In research, it could be about looking at how different policies affect different groups of employees, or how societal norms and expectations shape the way that particular groups of people behave. It's all about digging deeper and asking what is going on beneath the surface. Finally, we've got pragmatism. Pragmatism is like being in the kitchen and saying, you know what, I'm going to use whatever works. You're blending techniques. So say you're making a pizza. You might use a recipe for the base and then you might just wing it with the toppings. The goal isn't to stick to one method. It's to make something that works for you and gets the job done. In research, that might look like combining surveys and interviews to get both numbers and stories. It's flexible, it's practical, and it's focused on results. So there you have it, 5 key paradigms explained through different cooking styles. Positivism is your strict recipe follower. Post-Positivism adds a little bit of wiggle room to that. Interpretivism is all about creativity and personal taste. Critical realism dives into the why behind the dish. And pragmatism, well, pragmatism just wants to eat, however it's made. Don't forget to download my free Paradigm Starter Kit. It breaks all of this down even further. Grab that right now using the link in the description. And if you want a deeper dive into all things paradigm, go and check out the playlist that's appearing on screen right now. Go grab a snack and feast on all of my other videos about paradigms because I've made quite a lot of them now. I'll see you in there.